Matthew 13:24-30, NLT. Here's another story Jesus told. The kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who planted good seed in his field. But that night, as the workers slept, his enemy came and planted weeds among the wheat, then slipped away. When the crop began to grow and produce grain, the weeds also grew. The farmer's workers went to him and said, "Sir, the field where you planted that good seed is full of weeds. Where did they come from?" "An enemy has done this," the farmer exclaimed. "Should we pull out the weeds?" they asked. "No," he replied. "You'll uproot the wheat if you do. Let both grow together until the harvest. Then I will tell the harvesters to sort out the weeds, tie them into bundles, and burn them, and to put the wheat in the barn."
Hello, everyone. Throughout the Bible, Jesus would often tell stories known as parables to help teach the people a lesson. And the one I've been reading about lately is the one with the wheat and the tares, and it has been so fascinating. It is so amazing, so amazing. So a farmer planted seeds on his land, and while he was sleeping, his enemy came and planted weeds along with the seed. And of course, they didn't know it until everything started growing. And so his workers were like, "How did this happen?" And so the farmer said, "Well, while I was sleeping, that my enemy came and planted all these weeds. Well, should we harvest them up? No, just let them grow together. And when it comes time for harvest, we'll pick them all up at the same time." And then what they did is they took the wheat and they bundled it up and they put it in the barn. And then the weeds, they burned. And, it says that the kingdom of heaven is like that farmer who planted seeds. And, those weeds are so poisonous to humans. They can cause nausea and vomiting and maybe even death. They're just horrible. Until Christ returns, everything is going to be allowed to grow together. False preachers can look so godly, but they might not be. And the Holy Spirit does tell us somebody's fruits. It's all up to the Holy Spirit. So if you don't see fruits in somebody, it could be that the Holy Spirit is just not revealing it to you. There's a pastor that I like to listen to, and he said that there was this person in his church. I think it was his church, but he was like, he could be the most Christian on Sunday. He was like the definition of a Christian on Sundays. But then during the week, you couldn't tell at all that person was a Christian. It does take a lot of boldness to be a Christian. We need to talk gently to people who oppose us. Jesus will return, and so we need to stay strong. We need to stay faithful. We need to be set apart. Like the wheat that was put in bundles and then put into the barn, that's how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be set apart. And, right now, for a long time, the world has been getting ready for the new earth and the new heaven to emerge. And so right now we're kind of going through labor pains, a lot like a woman goes through labor pains when she's going to give birth to a baby. The contractions are so far apart. And then as you get closer and closer to birth, the labor pains get more intense and closer. And so then the time is coming. And that's how it's going to be for us. Like right now we're going through labor pains, and it's a painful process to wait for the new heaven and the new earth to emerge. But when it does, it's going to be so glorious and so amazing. I think about the TENS machine that I have. I hurt myself so bad at work yesterday, and I'm in a little bit of pain. And so I'd be using my TENS machine. If you don't know what it is, it's like an electronic device type thing where it has a pen type thing, and you put it on your pain, and then it has electricity that comes out, and it kind of shocks the area, and it really helps it feel better. But you can change the intensity, and even when I had it on the lowest intensity, my body would like react like this, and I think that's kind of how the kingdom of heaven is going to be like it's going to be shocking and shocking and shocking, and then suddenly it's just going to be whoosh, and the new heaven and the new earth is going to emerge, and we're just going to love it. I think we are. So I just thought this story was just so amazing. Now, there was a YouTube short that I watched, and I'm going to show you the video because she has a British accent, and it just sounds so cool. But she told the story, and she was telling the story about the wheat and the tares, also known as chaff. And she said that the weeds, they stand up straight and tall, and the wheat bows down. Now, is that cool or what? So I'm going to put a link to that video in the description, and I really hope you check it out. So thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe, and I'll see you on my next podcast. Bye-bye.